welcome back to the channel, guys. Real quick, man. Y'all recognize this? This is a Pacifica, guys. Third generation. Well, the next newer generation caravan. All right, we done. They did away with the old block style minivan. That minivan went on for almost 20 years, guys. They now have a new aerodynamic style, new stylish style minivan that debuted in 2017. All right, I think this is a 2017 model. All right, now I'm gonna refrain from putting the title of or what kind of vehicle I'm working on in the description or in the title, because what happened is guys will look at it and they go, well, I'm not working on a minivan, so I ain't gonna bother to watch it. I need these videos to be more all around it, you know, as opposed to, like, a lot of them I may specify if it's a Hemi or a Pentastar and things like that. Like, say if I say Pentastar and you don't care about Pentastar, all you care about is Hemi, you may not bother to watch the video. That's all clerical stuff on my end. I'm gonna take care of it, guys. But this particular van is in, you see that little yellow light? Yes. Checking the light, guys. Now, guys, there's no secret. I've been saying this for the longest, and I'm gonna continue to say it until I have a reason not to say it. And what I'm speaking about is work on this. All Pacifica guys have the third generation Pentastar engine, Gen 3. All right, so I have yet to do any work under those. Is that? Oh, that's range 100. It got 443,000 miles on it. I have had any reason to go inside the engine. Why they're taking the light on, I don't know. I'm about to find out. But yeah, this is equipped with the third generation Pentastar engine. Those have a EGR cooler equipped, and the valve train has been redesigned, guys. Hopefully gone are the days of the ticking Pentastar engine. Okay, those are mostly the Gen 1s and the Gen 2s. Okay, but if you have the updated or revised rocker arms, you now have a non-ticking Pentastar 3.6 engine. So it's all about the parts. You can convert your current, guys. Don't sleep on that engine. That engine is, to be a V6, it has, you know, some torque and some horsepower. Okay, so that's not a garbage engine. I hear that phrase all the time. That engine is good. No. Some vendors created some terrible design, cheap parts, and it has did a number on the image. Okay, so when you mention the word Pentastar, the image is tarnished. Now they're trying to repair the image by virtue of this redesign. Okay, I don't think it's enough publicity, or I don't think it's enough talk being circulated about it, guys. We need FCA really need to repair this image, or, you know, the word around town gonna be, don't buy no Chrysler because they're gonna all tick. No. Oh, all right, I need to work in the marketing department. But guys, all right, I've sat here and talked long enough. I just got in the shop. Let me go get my scan tool. We're gonna find out why this check engine light on and what it would take to fix it. All right, so y'all ready, man? No sense wasting no more time. Let's get it. All right, guys, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, this is 2018, and yes, yellow indicates a fault code in these perspective module. Also, guys, a lightning bolt indicator flash. Well, we're concerned with, that's a lot of lightning bolts around here. See, guys, this is not good. I mean, I know a lot of you guys, you don't worry about this until you have a problem, but flash and update your modules can be considered a preventive problem. All right, like this TCM, this transmission, there's an update for that, and I'm sure it's about a shift improvement update. It just haven't been done yet. And then you can see it's blue, meaning it hasn't picked up any fault codes. So technically, you don't think there's a problem, and there very well might not be a problem. So they want us to get out of the habit of just randomly flashing modules just because there's a flash update. And I understand, I get it. But if it was mine, I always want the latest and greatest. All right, let's stay focused, guys. Let's go over to PCM. We're gonna go on the DTC because we're trying to find out evap leak code, guys. P0456, small. These are always the hardest one to find, guys. Small evap leaks typically end up being something like fuel cap maybe, or ESIM O-ring maybe. But we don't guess around here, at least not on online mechanic tips. All right, we don't guess, we verify. Now, first steps in verifying the problem, we're gonna do a visual inspection, guys, because and we literally on a small test, you're gonna need a machine, guys, some type of machine that will fill the evap system up with either smoke, steam, or pressure. We're looking. We have a machine that will test. It uses a ball. It fills the system up with air, and it uses a ball to determine if there's a leak. I will have to break that out. Now, guys, on the flip side of this, I want to show y'all something, because there have been times where I have performed the smoke test, didn't find a leak, but my system will still fail for small evap leak. Now, let's take you back to this module. You see this PCM. There's a flash update. We're gonna go in and see what one of these flashes are for. Okay, let's go on the flash. Let's look at two flashes. One is for some type of recall that don't apply to this vehicle, and updates. Let's take a look at this, guys, because if you have a problem situation where you have a P0456 and you do an evap smoke test and do not find a leak, guys, like this flash updates for the 2018 model, that's exactly what I'm working on. Now let's read the symptom and condition. Customer may experience a mild illumination. Upon further investigation, a technician may find one of the following DTCs. Now, guess what's in this right here, guys? Okay, that code is in this flash update. So hypothetically, and I'm talking hypotheticals here, if you do a smoke evap leak, vapor leak, smoke test, whatever, everybody have different names for it. If you do that and it's not revealed that you have a leak, you very well could have what I call a glitch in the computer. All right, yes, and a glitch in the computer is where, like, these particular codes will pop up for just glitch reasons. All right, I can't explain it the way I want to, but the fix for it is to flash update it. It's like it says in here, guys. I've read you guys the symptom and condition, and this car applied because this is 2018 Pacifica. It wouldn't even show up if it didn't apply. So what I'm going to do is proceed with my smoke evap test, as well as recommend them update this controller. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on this particular car, guys. All right, so I'm going to have a video of a smoke test running. I'm not going to film this one, but I'll let y'all know what's going on. Exactly, guys. We're going to end up doing that. But now, I always like to go to the vehicle, guys. So let's take a trip over to the vehicle. We have talked enough on the computer. Let's go discuss some things about the car. Let's get it. All right, guys. Like I said earlier, 3.6 Pentastar Gen 3, guys. That's beautiful Chrysler Pacifica. All right. EGR cooler, pretty much the giveaway is as far as if it's a Gen 3 or not. And the design, the cover is not the same. So if you look at the cover and you see the cooler, things like that down there, and the battery, this start-stop obviously because there's an auxiliary battery on here. All right, and 40,000 miles, what can I recommend on here? Plugs I do at 100. Okay, transmission service is due never, according to, now there's some under extreme circumstances features in the service manual that recommend you go ahead and drain and refill the transmission, because keep in mind, guys, it's a 9-speed. You can't service this if your definition of services include the filter. The filter is right up sitting housed right above the pump, so the transmission will have to come out. Watch this video right here. I discussed that to do a proper service on a ZF 9-speed transmission, and pretty much all the Pacifica is going to be equipped with that transmission. Now we're dealing with an evap leak, right? I want to also point something out to you guys. A lot of people run straight to the fuel cap. Guys, this is a capless system. All right, there's no cap. Most of the sealing is going on inside the neck. All right, with this closed, that should seal off. In fact, it's like 2 or 3 levels of sealing going on in here, so you can't just run to a cap and say it probably need a gas cap. Pep Boys, not Pep Boys, AutoZone and Advanced Auto quick to tell you, if you got a P0456, all you need is a gas cap. Not true, guys. So you really need to diagnose the car. All right, a lot of people disconnect this to avoid having to turn the auto stop. A lot of people hate that feature. auto stop start feature. All right, just press the button, guys, to disable it. All right, guys, so I've got to go grab the smoke test. Like I said, I'm not going to film that. I have tons of footage on how to operate a smoke test, at least the machine that we use. I can't do it on any other machine that I don't have. Guys, I spoke about this fuel pressure sensor. Okay, it's tied into the fuel line. You can now tell how much fuel pressure your system is producing electronically. Yes, gone are the days you have to go hunt down a, not totally gone, I still use it when I can find my fuel pressure tester or fuel pressure gauge. So let me get with it, guys. Let me find out why if this thing has a leak. If it doesn't have a physical leak, I will flash update that controller. All right, let's get it. All right, guys, welcome back. For the record, guys, the vapor canister is on the left side rear fender well on a Chrysler Pacifica. All right, I got my hose tied into the ESIM, the heart and soul of the evap system. You're gonna do your testing. I'd much rather do it right there. And as you can see, I got it running. Let's take a look at that ball. It's trying its best to get down. Will it make it all the way to the bottom? I don't know. If it don't, remember, guys, I'm gonna flash this thing anyway, but I want to see if there's physically a leak. So it's trying its best to get to the bottom. All right, so I'm still not all the way at the bottom, guys. In fact, I'm hovering around right there. So this car, in fact, does have a small evap leak. Now, because this machine will put out smoke as well as the steam, we could be looking around right now to see if there's any physical steam escaping anywhere. All right, so in fact, let's do just that. No steam coming from around in that area. There's an evap leak, guys. I have my ball. It's not at the bottom. Now let's simulate a no leak. Let's squeeze this. See, when I squeeze it, it go all the way down. So there's a leak. All right, we got to find it. All right, so I'm gonna plug this back up. I just unplugged it to test the evap system. Look at that smoke coming out of there. Yeah, so I eliminated the purge system as the reason for the leak. So now I'm gonna plug this back up, because we now know it's not leaking at the purge or the fuel tank based off these two lines that I had capped off and still running the test. So the leak is in here or here. Let me go get a new ESIM and we're gonna find out. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm back, guys. Remember, this is the same Pacifica, so I played process of elimination, guys. I had my leak detection smoke machine right here, filled up the evap system. Okay, guys, because you have only two outlets on this canister, you're basically filling up the canister as well as everything these lines are hooked to. Okay, one line is going up to the front to the purge system and one line going to the fuel tank. All right, they want to monitor if vapors are escaping the fuel tank as well. So if you doing your test right here, guys, you can play elimination. Okay, like I say, you get your line right here and you testing, you got a leak, just simply start unplugging these. I unplugged this one, I capped it off with my finger, leak still present. I unplugged this one, capped it off with my finger, leak still present. Okay, what that tells me is because I have just chopped the whole system in half. All right, now I'm only testing just the canister and everything that's attached to it. And the only thing that's attached to it that could potentially cause that leak is, you guessed it, guys, the ESIM. All right, so I have an ESIM here in place. These are fairly easy, guys. This little tab right here, just squeeze it in and turn like that. It pops right out. In some cases, guys, in most cases, all you need is the seal. See, this is the seal that's very important. We tend to do both. I mean, if you're hurting for cash, you might can just get away with this. But we tend to do the complete ESIM housing. All right, and that's this little white box right here. All right. There we go. So it's fairly easy. Here's my new one here. New ESIM, new O-ring. Just simply reverse the procedure
All right, so I have my new O-ring here. Simply set it back in place like you got it. There you go. Turn it in place, guys, and then just hook up all your connection. Now, guys, I'm gonna tell you something. It is crucial that you redo your test, guys. I'm gonna redo my test, but I'm gonna use the computer to do it because this is a warranty repair, and I have to have proof on paper that it passed. So I have to do a evap leak intrusion test. I think that's what they call it. Okay, via my scan tool. But I'm almost 100% certain that will repair it. Okay. I hope y'all got something out of this video. Now, this is a fairly new car. You likely won't see this problem or a car until 10 years from now, maybe. So hopefully my video will still be up and you'll be able to watch it and learn something and help hopefully fix your problem. All right. Again, this is 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, the minivan. All right. I had a P0456. We diagnosed it using the evap smoke leaks. I have since repaired it. I'm about to go verify that it's repaired, fixed by way of my scan tool. All right, that's all I have, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video.